It's keto style meatloaf tonight on this edition of Daditude BBQ and More. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Daditude BBQ and More. Daditude BBQ and More.
Welcome back to Daditude BBQ and More. And as I mentioned in the opening, it is going to be a delicioso tonight on Daditude BBQ and More as we do keto style meatloaf. It's going to be bon appetit. But before we get started, you know what to do. I don't even have to remind you. You slap that bell, you hit the subscribe button, you give me some thumbs up so we can get this video out there and make people a better cook in the kitchen, because that's what it's all about. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a smoked meatloaf, which is going to be so good. But also, before I get started, I always want to give a shout out. And today I'm going to give a shout out to Perla from Mexico. I hope you enjoy this video today. I'm also going to give a shout out to Natalie, Adele, and Macy from my school, fourth graders. I hope you all enjoy this video today as well. So as I mentioned, I'm making this meatloaf keto style. And what that basically means is I'm substituting breadcrumbs, and I'm also substituting any type of carbs in this meatloaf to make it more healthy. I personally don't eat a whole lot of carbs, if any, and I don't eat bread. So basically, I'm taking the breadcrumbs out of the mix, and I'm actually substituting today ground up pork rinds, which will act as a kind of a binder in the meatloaf. I think it'll be great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by giving you the ingredients I'm using, and then I'm going to mix them together in a bowl by hand. I've already pre-greased kind of a bread loaf pan that I'll be putting the meatloaf mixture in. And then we're going to stick it in the smoker for an internal temperature between 160 and 165 degrees. And I currently have my smoker at 350 degrees. If you're doing it on a smoker and you'd rather do it slow and low, you could do it at about 250 degrees. It'll just take a little bit longer. And again, I do want to mention that any recipes I use here, if you prefer breadcrumbs in your meatloaf, instead of the pork rinds, use the breadcrumbs. If you prefer to bake instead of smoke, just set the oven for 350 degrees. It's the same process, and it's all the same ingredients, so you can pick and choose where you're going to come from with this. I actually also, and you'll see in my ingredients today, I'm actually including some diced bacon in my meatloaf just to give it a little bit more of that carnivore feel. I usually do carnivore diet, but I also kind of delve into the keto diet on occasion as well. So, hey, you've heard enough of me talking. You know what the motto is on this channel. We're going to cut the flab and we're going to get straight to the meat. And that's what we're going to do next. So first, I want to introduce all of my ingredients. So I do have the ground up pork rinds. I have roughly 2 strips of thick cut bacon. I have a half cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I have a half cup of softened cream cheese. I have 1 egg scrambled. Then, as you can see, I also have 1 pound of ground beef. Typically, I would like 80-20 mixture, but this is an 85-15 grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef, so I'm using that today. I'm going to substitute a little bit more of the fat with some olive oil. And then I've got some mild Italian sausage. I've got some diced green peppers and onions. And I will be making a glaze for the meatloaf that I'll show you how to make. It's super easy. I'm using Primal Kitchen organic and unsweetened ketchup. But again, use any ketchup you like. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All of this is going to be mixed together by hand. And hey, by the way, this is the first time I've ever made this particular recipe. So I'm taking a chance here thinking that it's going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and take my mixing bowl. And I'm going to put my 1 pound of ground beef in there. I'm just going to kind of mix it up a little bit like this, as you can see here, hopefully on the secondary camera. I think I've got it in a new position tonight, so hopefully everybody can see that. Then we're going to take the Italian sausage there. We're going to put that in there. So 1 pound of each in the bowl. And then we're just going to start combining ingredients. Before I do that, though, I am going to throw in a little bit of olive oil for a little extra fat. And, of course, got to remember the Daditude BBQ and More seasoning, right? I'm just going to put a little bit of that in. We don't want it too much. We don't want it to overpower the meatloaf. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the scrambled egg. I'm going to go ahead and start putting in some of the mixture here of the green pepper and onion. And then we're just going to start putting some things in. So I'm going to put in the pork rinds. I'm going to throw in the bacon. And we're going to throw in the Parmesan cheese. And finally, we're going to add in the softened, now it has to be softened, cream cheese mixture here. Notice I'm wearing some gloves, some grilling gloves. Much easier. You don't get it all over your hands. And I highly recommend these. Do you have to have them? No. Is it a good idea to have them? Absolutely. All right. So I have used all the ingredients. And now, that was kind of a loud crash back there. Now I'm just going to use my hands, and we're just going to get this mixture all put together. Now, as you can see, it does stick, but that's good. It's binding in there. And here's another thing that I do want to remind people of. We don't want the keto style meatloaf to be like, you don't want to overmix it, but you do want to get the ingredients put in there. But if you overmix it, then it becomes almost too thick. So as you can see, obviously it sticks to your hands. A little messy, but again, that's why we use gloves whenever possible. And then just kind of make a ball out of it here. And I think pretty much, you know, you never really know how much. I just used 1 green pepper and about 3/4 of a yellow onion. So you never know exactly how much of that stuff to put in here. I just decided to do that kind of a mixture, making it up as I go along tonight, guys. So kind of bear with me on it. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab the loaf pan. I'm going to put the loaf pan here so the secondary camera can see it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting this in the loaf pan and just pressing it down. Like this. Doesn't have to be perfect, as I've already said before. And we're going to do this until we get all the mixture in there. We're going to pat it down. Again, I have already greased it with some olive oil. It's actually an olive oil spray that I use on this. Now, in the past, when I've made regular meatloaf, I've actually made enough to where I can make 2 loaf pans. But I think this will be perfectly fine in just the one pan. We got some escaping over here. Get back in that pan. All right, let's see here. We're going to flip it around. Got a little bit more mixture to go. Not much. I'm going to press some of that green pepper and onion down in it, though. And that's about it. Honestly, guys, it doesn't get any easier than this. And what I'll do before I put it in, obviously, I'll clean up the outer rim of the loaf pan here. And I'm trying to just get it evened out a little bit. I'm a stickler for things looking good when you're cooking. I don't know. It's just kind of my thing. But I don't want it to look all sloppy, you know? All right. Put that over here. And that's it, guys. You can see on the secondary camera as I hold it up. It is in there. It is going to turn out to be an amazing meatloaf. So what I said earlier was I'm putting this in now for at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to do it for, I'm going to do an internal temperature between 160 and 165. I'm going to pull it off the smoker. I'm going to let it rest for probably a good 20 minutes or so, maybe 30, until it cools down. And then we're going to put this on a cutting board. We're going to take a look at it. And then obviously my favorite part of the show is the taste test, as you know. So this is going in the smoker, and I will see you again shortly when we look at it and cut into it. I'll see you soon. All right, while the meatloaf is in the smoker and the temperature is rising on the internal temperature, I am going to make the glaze. And I'm going to put the glaze on probably when I'd say the meatloaf hits an internal temperature of maybe 140. So maybe the last 30 minutes or so of the cook, last 45 minutes, I'm going to glaze it on with a, like a rubber brush. And I will take the camera out to show you how I do that. Very simple to do. And it's just going to glaze onto that meatloaf and just it's going to take the taste to another level. Very simple to do. And we're going to keep it keto style again tonight. So what I'm going to do is I have used the Primal Kitchen ketchup. Now it's more expensive than regular ketchup, but again, it's unsweetened and it's just healthier for you. But if you prefer to just do a regular ketchup, it's 3/4 of a cup, and I'm just keeping it in the mixing cup here while I mix it up. I've got 2.5 tablespoons of a brown sugar substitute. I use Swerve sweetener, okay, and they make it in brown sugar, granular sugar. Can't even talk tonight, and a powdered sugar. So no matter what you're baking or making, you can use Swerve. And what I love about Swerve is you can see on the back side, if you can see it, 0 calories and ultimately 0 sugar. So it tastes exactly like brown sugar, and so do the granular and the powdered. And it also measures cup for cup, just like regular sugar. So if you're wanting to do a sugar-free diet, but you don't want to give up some of those sweet treats, I highly recommend Swerve. Again, I'm not getting paid for this. It's just something that I use and I'm passionate about. So that, and then I've got 1.5 teaspoons of white vinegar. So all I'm going to do, just going to pour it in here like so, the vinegar. Go ahead and put the brown sugar substitute in, and then we're just going to stir this up. We're going to combine it. And that's all there is to it, honestly. I'm going to give it a little taste, obviously, to make sure that it tastes okay and it doesn't need anything else. Let's see. Man, that tastes just like a regular glaze that would be high in sugar. And again, we're low in sugar. This is amazing. So this is going to go on top of the meatloaf. I'll be doing that here shortly, and I'll show you how to go about doing that. Till then, I'll see you soon. All right, guys, as promised, I'm going to go ahead and glaze the meatloaf now. So we're just going to pour it over. We're going to brush it on just a little bit. Get it around those meat probes. Oh, yeah. And there you have it. Nice glaze on that thing, and we'll be good to go. See you again soon on Daditude BBQ and More. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look at the finished product. You can see it on the secondary camera. It is amazing. This is keto style meatloaf. This is close to 0 carb as you can get, and it's going to taste delicious because I can already tell if the taste is anything like it looks, the presentation, then it's going to be delicious. So you know what time it is. It is time for the taste test. Again, this is the first time I have made this recipe, so let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed. All right, here it goes. And again, I'm just going to I'll just cut it off from this angle right. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, gosh, I don't know if you can see this on the secondary camera. This is meatloaf at its best. Look at this. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. The glaze looks amazing. Oh, and I can almost tell. Guys, here it is. Keto, low carb meatloaf. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my gosh. Listen, I give myself an applause. This is amazing. You have to try this recipe. It's so good. I'm going in for a second. Man, that hits the spot. So what this proves to us today on this channel is that we can cook healthy and it can still taste like comfort food, guys. This is the perfect comfort food. It's been raining here all week. It's been just a gloomy week. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to finish it off with some comfort food meatloaf. and I'm not going to feel guilty about it because it's low carb and it's keto style, really carnivore keto style. So there you have it, guys. Meatloaf at its finest. So before I sign off tonight, again, you know what to do. You remember what to do. You slap that bell, you hit the subscribe button, you give me some thumbs up, and you share this video with as many people as you can so we can get the word out on how to be a great cook in the kitchen. And now we can be a healthy cook in the kitchen. Be sure to also check out my last video I made on the keto lemon bars. Those things were delicious and again, sugar-free. So guys, this is it on Meatloaf. I may come back in the next week or so and do like a keto style chocolate chip cookie and using our Swerve sweeteners again. So until next time, guys, I'll see you again on Daditude BBQ and More.
Daditude barbecue. He's the grilling dude. Daditude barbecue. You know how we do. Let it burn, smoking meats on that smoker grill. Clouds in the sky, you can smell the flavor in the air. Daditude.